A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away, young space Jesus was born without a father, obviously, born out of a mother who had not done the deed with anybody in order to fall pregnant. And he was corrupted by the devil until he managed to break free from the help of Peter, or, well, his son, basically. And that was the rise and fall of, well, Darth Vader. It was a nice allegory to go for. What we have here now is Tales of the Jedi, which talks about the sect that young space Jesus, aka Anakin Skywalker, was adopted by. The sect that he betrayed and had exterminated along with the help of his Sith master and the Grand Army of the Republic. Tales of the Jedi is a story that's meant to talk about different Jedi across the prequel trilogy, I guess. Maybe they'll talk about the ones from before that or the ones in the sequel trilogy. I don't know. We'll see more about that, maybe in season 2 or something. But this show, at least the premise, is interesting because we're meant to see stories of Jedi that we didn't know about, like Qui-Gon, Count Dooku before he joined the dark side, Yaddle, Plo Koon, Amagundai, Ki-Adi-Mundi, Trebor Coleman, Luminara Unduli, Barriss Offee, Jocasta Nu, Master Ramesses. Heck, we could even get some insight into Yoda's training and how many Padawans he's had throughout his 900 years. But yeah, as usual, we just had to have something about Ahsoka. And this time, Dave Filoni really outdid himself. He showed us her birth. Man, I really don't know what's up with this guy in Ahsoka Tano. Like, I get it. She's his favorite character. She was a character that was hated in the beginning and became a fan favorite. But we're already getting a live action series about her. We had her in Star Wars Rebels. We had a whole season of the Clone Wars dedicated to her. I don't understand why the show needed to have 3 episodes about her. It's just a 6-episode show, and 3 of them were about her. We're already getting all these other projects with Ahsoka, so why do we have to go in with more about her? Like, we're going to document her entire life. Not even Anakin Skywalker had that much attention. We just saw how he was taken in by the Jedi. We saw him as a Padawan. We saw him as a knight. And then the rest of the time, he was just a Sith Lord. But Ahsoka, we're seeing her from birth. And, well, she's definitely not going to die in her show because she's a fan favorite. And, well, we already know what the treatment is with fan favorite characters these days, like Rex, Cal Kestis, the Ghost Crew, and heck, even Grogu. I'm pretty sure all these people lived through the sequels as well, but just were never mentioned and never did anything significant enough to be shown on screen in the sequel trilogy. Either way, there are things that we can address in this show, like how they managed to treat characters like Count Dooku. We always saw Count Dooku as a calm and collected man. He was a very interesting guy, quite reserved as well, and he was pretty calm for a Sith Lord. He never used his anger, he never used aggression, he just fought. It was all suave and everything. But what we get to see here is basically how he grew closer and closer to the dark side. In his life, we see him on a mission with Mace Windu, we see him on a mission with Qui-Gon, and in both of those missions, he shows a lot of aggression. He has these dark side tendencies, and it's just weird how nobody found that suspicious. I mean, sure, with Anakin, he had dark side tendencies too, but, well, he was the chosen one, so they turned a blind eye towards that. But with Count Dooku, it was just strange. Like, why do you have to keep showing us his dark side tendencies? Because even when he left, everyone was like, nah, he just left because he had a different political view, not because he went rogue or anything. And here it is. We're just seeing him choking senators using the Force. Like, who really was the first guy to use the chokehold in Star Wars? But whatever. I guess it's like poetry, it rhymes, or something like that. But other than that, I like the fact that Dave Filoni was able to expand on his creativity here and just give us stories that aren't tied to anything larger. They're just short anthologies, giving us some insight into these characters. That's a really nice initiative by Lucasfilm. But again, the problem that I have with this is just that you need to take the focus away from Ahsoka. She is not Star Wars. She's not the main character of Star Wars. And so far, there's only one easily deniable, easily missable mention of her, which is indirect, of course. Her voice in The Rise of Skywalker. There isn't really much to say about this show, too, because, well, it's just short. It's beautifully animated. I wish it was longer. I wish the episodes were longer too. It really has potential to be something really special. There are so many Jedi you could tell the stories of. There are so many fan favorite characters that you could tell the stories of as well. You could even delve into those unproduced Star Wars Clone Wars episodes. Well, Star Wars The Clone Wars. There's a difference between Star Wars Clone Wars and Star Wars The Clone Wars. So yeah, I guess the show doesn't really have that much to expand on, except for the fact that why is it that Count Dooku was still a Jedi during The Phantom Menace, according to one of the episodes in this show? So basically, Count Dooku didn't even attend Qui-Gon's funeral, which is a bit weird because it was shown that he was actually fond of Qui-Gon. But I guess it's just poetry. It just rhymes like that. Right? And I have to ask as well, if you want to say that Ahsoka attended Padme's funeral and she joined the rebel cell right there and then why do you have an Obi-Wan show which is set many years after that and before her alleged supposed death happened in Rebels? Why do you have Bail Organa call Obi-Wan Kenobi away from Tatooine, away from protecting Luke, to go and save Leia when he was in contact with Ahsoka already? These are just a few things to think about. And that's actually a problem that I have as well with shows that are meant to be prequels or just expand on history. They create these kinds of questions and problems. And I'm sure that this isn't something that's going to be addressed or explained in any way. We're just going to have to put it together and make sense of it on our own or just argue about it in comment sections. But yeah, the show is a good initiative. I just think that, well, I'm repeating myself again, but I feel like it has to be said. You just have to kind of move on from the Clone Wars era, and especially from Ahsoka. Well, I don't have really that much else to say about the show. I didn't really enjoy it as much, but it's Star Wars content, and well, I'm a Star Wars fan, so I just felt like I had to put my opinion about it out there and make just a really short video about it. So thanks for watching, and well, I'll talk about more in the next video. Not about Tales of the Jedi, but something else.